Welcome to the Beanie the Spider and Friends Talk Time. In the first book of the Adventures of Beanie the Spider series, we are introduced to Beanie the Spider in her fine art gallery and learn how she uses her imagination to go on adventures inside the paintings. In one such painting, Beanie imagines snorkeling under the sea with a manatee. Today, I'm very happy to introduce our friend Chris, who lives and works in the water in real life. Chris, thank you so much for joining us today. Please share with us, what sort of experience do you have under the sea?
So thank you, Christine, for having me. In the mid-1990s, after my university years, I learned to scuba dive off the Pacific coast of California. And in the more than 25 years since then, I've become a scuba instructor and also a Coast Guard licensed captain of ships and yachts. I've been actually very lucky to scuba dive and free dive in many parts of the world, from Australia, Southeast Asia, the Caribbean, and, of course, the coastal waters of the United States. Although I wouldn't consider myself an expert, I've been very privileged to work and dive and learn from many experts of the marine biology and conservation world. You know, if you'd asked me 25 years ago, I could not have imagined how much fun and exciting working and living underwater would be.
You live the kind of adventures Beanie dreams about. That's so amazing. In Beanie's story, she is pretending to use a snorkel. That is different than scuba diving, correct? Can you tell us the difference between the two?
So yes, there is a difference between snorkeling and scuba diving, and although you can do both in the same place, the equipment and the techniques between the two are different. I think Beanie may have loved scuba diving because the scuba equipment allows Beanie to breathe underwater. Snorkels are great for when you're on the top of the water and you're looking underneath the surface, kind of like if you think of breathing through a straw, but scuba tanks, they're filled with air, and those let the divers go underwater, sometimes for more than an hour, and sometimes more than 100 feet deep.
Thank you for explaining that. The seas and oceans are full of marine life to view, such as Beanie's manatee. Chris, please tell us, what kind of marine life do you find on your adventures? Have you met a real manatee? And do you have a favorite marine animal?
Yes, Christine, I have. I've been snorkeling and free diving with manatees. It was a few years ago in northern Florida. I also had one manatee that visited me on a regular basis, almost a weekly basis, when I was working in downtown Miami. You know, manatees, they're gentle giants. Some people call them sea cows. They tend to live in shallower coastal waters like mangroves, and in my experience, they're willing to share the water with people as long as we're respectful of their space. But in addition to manatees, and because my experience is in tropical waters in the Caribbean, I've been lucky to swim with dolphins and whales, sharks, underwater octopus and eels, and many of the other tropical fish that are in and around the reefs there. But I have to admit, my absolute favorite marine animal are sharks.
Wow, Beanie loves the idea of having a manatee friend. Although Beanie is very friendly, some people are afraid of spiders, but may change their minds once they learn more about them. Sharks seem a little scary at first, too, but they are an important part of the oceans. Can you tell us some things we should know about sharks?
You know, I'm glad you asked that question because so often, we destroy the things that we fear the most. And sharks, the most important thing to know about them is that they're simply misunderstood. Our media and entertainment often make them look evil, and they are not. You know, human beings are afraid of many things: spiders and snakes, and of course sharks, because they don't understand. The more that we learn, the less we will fear, and the more we would care. A couple of interesting facts about sharks. One is that they've been swimming in the oceans for more than 20 million years, which means that they shared the planet with dinosaurs. But unlike dinosaurs, they managed to survive extinction. For those that don't know, extinction means that when all of one type of animal has died and will never be seen again, which is rather sad. I'm afraid if human beings don't change how or our behavior toward nature, manatees, sharks, and many of the other animals that we love so much may become extinct like dinosaurs.
It's amazing to think that dinosaurs, sharks, and spiders have been on the earth together at the same time so long ago. Besides reading books and visiting museums, do you have any recommendations on how kids can learn more about marine life?
You know, there's a lot of great information out there about manatees, sharks, and the marine world in general. If those would like to look into my website, which is driftingwithchris.com, there are links within my website that can connect you to some other organizations, whether they be educational, conservation, or commercial, that would give more information about different topics. I would like to bring a couple to your attention, though. SaveTheManatees.org is doing some great work in northern Florida to protect the manatees from what unfortunately might be starvation. Also, when it comes to sharks, take a look for Shark Allies and Shark Angels. Both of those organizations are doing fantastic work in regards to shark conservation. Thank you again for having me. It's a pleasure to share what I've experienced over the many years with all the fans of Beanie the Spider. Thank you.
It is amazing to meet someone who has done things in real life that Beanie has only dreamt about. You are an inspiration. On behalf of Beanie the Spider and friends, thank you so much for joining us today. Learn more about Chris and his exciting aquatic life at driftingwithchris.com. See you next time.